Welcome to all the students. In the first lecture of the fifth unit, that is project management, for the subject industrial management, for which the subject code is RAS 601. In this presentation, we'll cover topics including the introduction of the project, the need to manage the project, characteristics of project management components including the skill, tools and process. Further, we'll see about the project life cycle, the causes to be a successful as well as a failure of project, and followed by organizing the project team. To start with the definition of project is a unique endeavor to produce a set of deliverables within clearly specified time, cost, and quality constraint. Students, when we talk about project is any kind of the objective that has to be fulfilled with a set of deliverable. Like your final year project is there. In final year, you'll get the project which is of time specified, that is 6 months. It may subjected to certain cost that is beared by you, and the quality constraint, that is requirement of university as well as college. And so we can say it's a student life project, we can say academic project. When we talk about industrial project, in industries also there's as like the project are as like one has to prepare a particular machine, or one has to prepare a building, one have to prepare a particular project such as to build the manhole system, sewage treatment plant, solar system. The project may be either small or big scale project. Projects are different from the standard business operational activities, and if we see the characteristics, they are unique in nature. Means each and every project is different in itself. Like we can say Taj Mahal is a unique project, or we can say Manarega is a different project. And students, all the things comes under the project. At the same time, when we see the characteristics of the project, that they have a defined time scale, means as a project manager or executive, I have to complete the particular project within a specified time only. Then project is always associated with the budget. Means of course we cannot say infinite amount of budget is associated with a particular kind of project, because each and every project is prepared with some money also, and always those resources are scarce, and to utilize those scarce resources as best as possible is nothing but the objective of project. Next characteristic is project is always associated with some risk, and the risk may be either high, moderate or low, and it depends on the project and the project team itself, how they handle the project. And last but not least, each and every project is associated with some kind of change. Like we manufacture something, then initially we have raw material processing tools, and yes, we are looking for the change for the benefit of society or benefit to a stakeholder. These are the characteristics of the project. Now the next question comes, that is, what is the need to manage the project? See, things are going on their own ways. For the project itself, the time, budget, and the resources are available. Then what is the need to manage the project? Students, if we not manage the project properly, the tenure will be increased. See, in a city, there are a number of flyover projects are there, and due to the delay at the end of contractor, or the delay at the railway end, or PWD, or it may be, and the reason may be anyone, like lack of material, lack of resources. But anyhow, if we not will not manage the project, the cost, time, budget, all these things will increase day by day as the project get delayed. So today we are living in a very complex environment in which to implement the things, efforts are required, and as until and unless rigorous efforts are not made, the things will not happen. And so in order to prepare a framework, as well as with a positive mindset and a disciplined approach is required to maintain, manage, and forward a project, to complete the project. And so project management is required. Next, we will see about the characteristic features of project. Earlier we have seen these are the added characteristic, you can say, like each and every project is a unique endeavor and having a defined time scale for a particular budget, and with the limited resources we have to complete the project. As and when the element of risk is associated, then also business concerns have to bear that risk, and in order to change for the benefit of society. Next, we'll talk about the component of management. That is, as the diagram speak itself, that there are three components. Skill is required to process the things, the resources with the help of tools, and these are the basic three components which are required for managing the project, for carried out the project. Project management is a skill, tool, and management process required to undertake a project successfully. When we talk about skills, then the person whosoever is engaged in doing the project, he should be he must have a specialized set of knowledge, skill, experience to reduce the level of risk within the project and thereby enhance its likelihood of success. Similarly, a sort of tool, that is tool bunch, must be there, in which various types of tools must be used by the project manager, and the tools may be the technical tools, we can say, as well as the managerial tool. Managerial tool means to use some kind of softwares, check sheets, templates in order to provide the reporting, proper reporting, along with some base work, you can say. Now, next thing is required to process the project is a series of process, that is various processes and techniques are used to monitor and control the time, cost, quality, as well as the area or scope of the project. Then if we take the example of such processes like time management, cost management, quality management, change management, risk management, and issue management is there. Apart from these, grievance handling cell and recruitment cell, all these are the essential process take care the project successfully. Next comes the project life cycle. What is project life cycle? As the name suggests itself, a cycle which denotes the series of activities throughout the inception, since the inception of the project to the end of the project. And why it is known as cycle? Just because when one cycle, one process, one project is completes, then some kind of feedback, some kind of outcome comes through it, and with that a great learning as well as the new requirement begins the uh, from the end of the existing project itself. For example, if a company provides a new kind of bike into market, and as and when they finish their project, then customer feedbacks comes like they want for few changes. Then company have to implement those changes into the new variant of the same product, and so this cycle goes continuously. So we can say that project life cycle refers to a logical sequence of activities in order to accomplish the project's goal or objectives. Regardless of the scope or complexity, any project goes through a series of stages throughout its life. Like, the stages are the initiation or birth phase, second is the planning phase, third is execution phase, fourth is closure or exit phase. In detail, we'll see all these phases. Now, first phase is project initiation or the birth phase. As the name suggests itself, within this phase, the business possibilities are finding out from the market itself. When the marketeers see the demand of a particular product in the market, then he or she develops a business case, and also he have to perform the feasibility study. Feasibility study is an important term. Feasibility study means to study out the idea whether it is worthful or not, whether one can invest in that idea, then what are the possibilities to success in the project. And the feasibility may be of any type, like technical feasibility, financial feasibility. Technical feasibility means when the technology is available or not, or the manufacturer have to outsource the technology. Similarly, financial feasibility means whether the idea is worthful, like one has to invest 1 crore rupees in a particular project, and unless and until he will not get a handsome profit on that, then it will be worthless to invest in that particular project. And so it is important to study about the feasibility of the project in terms of cost associated in it, time associated in it, and efforts associated in it. Next stage is within the project initiation phase itself is establish the terms of reference. That is, after analyzing the feasibility of the project, one has to provide the certain terms like detailed project report and all, and on the basis of feasibility study itself, and so they have to work on that to develop the terms regarding the project initiation. Once the terms as well as mission, objective, goals are finalized, then an appointment of the project team and its member formally takes place. This is basically taken place by thus at the end of the top management who is involved in the project itself. Next is to set up a particular office or physical office, that is namely as project office. And earlier to this stage, all these stages were on paper only, and this is the step from where some physical movement, physical works takes place. with the setup of a project office. And last but not least, within this phase only, the executives have to perform the review of the phase, like all the activities from inception of the goal to feasibility study, detailed project report and appointment of the team are performed as per the specification or not. The scope of this project is very much important when we talk about the scope or the importance of project initiation. Then unless and until this phase is not carried out successfully, then we cannot move further for the next phase, and the successful project will only be incorporated if the birth phase or the initiation phase is carried out successfully. Next, after initiation phase, project initiation, we'll move towards the planning phase. It's a second phase in which company has to create the proper project plan in front of the project team, and the plan is obviously provided or carried out by the members of the project team. Then next step within this phase is, after creating a project plan, resources have to arrange, and for that a resource plan is to be prepared by the same team or the project team members. Once the resources are identified, then the financial plan, that is from where the money will be arranged, what are the resources from public or from private or from the partnership of both, the fund will raise, or any other resource may be there from where the finance will be arranged. So in this particular stage, the executives have to prepare financial plan. Next come to create a quality plan. After arranging the resources in terms of machine, material, money, the method must be specified. Unless and until the method will not be mistake proof or foolproof, then the quality will be in the question mark, and the question mark on the quality will leads to project in a wrong direction, and if the defect will be produced more, then there is no means to conduct the project successfully. Next comes to create the risk plan. Each and every project is associated with the risk, like if it is not successfully conducted within the specified time, within the risk by using the specified resources, then there is no means to provide the to conduct such kind of project. And so the risk management is also an important step that is carried out by the that have to take care by the project personnels. And in order to assess the risk, there's a team must be appointed in the organization so as to assess the possibility of risk at each and every level of the project and work accordingly. Next step within this phase is to create an acceptance plan, that is to fix the tolerance for the plan, for the machinery project or the goods produced. Unless and until the acceptance plan will not be there, and then we cannot physically check the quality of the project. And so within this stage only we have to specify the acceptance plan and the limits for that. Next is to create a communication plan. Communication plan, it is important to plan the communication and the activities related to communication, like what will be the possible mode of communication during the project. If the project site is far away from the project office, the head office, then there must be a proper communication channel as well as communication media, so that during the implementation phase the miscommunication should not lead. And Next is after preparing the communication plan, a procurement plan, material procurement plan, tool procurement plan, money procurement plan, and manpower procurement plan should be there. And unless and until the resources are not properly procured that was planned earlier, then physically we cannot implement the project on the earth. Next comes the contract the supplier. Obviously, supplier is the one who provide tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 raw material for the accomplishment of project. And so within this stage we have to contract the suppliers in order to provide the material. And last but not least, it's a time to review the phase where if there is any lacuna or loophole, then it's the right time to remove that within the process, and so that the next stage, that is execution stage, can be successfully accomplished. The next and third phase is execution and controlling phase. Within this phase, we not only have to execute the plan on the reality on the ground, but also we have to control the plan, control if any kind of deviation takes place from the set objectives. In this particular phase, you can see within the diagram itself, once the resources are planned and procured properly, then we have to just review parallelly the activities performed, so that if any kind of variation takes place, then we can take care of that at that time only, at the execution time only. So within this particular phase, the first and foremost activities which are parallelly takes place as perform the time management, that time, cost, quality and change, they should be takes place parallelly along with risk management, issue management, procurement management and acceptance management. Like if the project is performing, all the activities within the project are performing on timely basis, and for that we have to assess the risk and perform the risk management. Similarly, in order to perform the project as per the cost, as per right cost, then we have to perform the issue management properly. If whether a kind of issue is not raised within the project, then all these steps should be carried out in a cyclical manner also. Like once the time should be managed properly, cost should be managed properly, quality should be managed properly, changes that are proceed or carried out on each and every phase, they should be take care. Next is communication management. It's an important task, and unless and until communication will not be there among the stakeholders, then we cannot perform the project suitably within the time limit. And to ensure the project activities that they are properly executed and controlled, in this phase the execution is as important as to monitor the execution, whether it is it takes place as per the plan or as per plan or not. So these processes include managing time, cost, quality changes, risk, issue and supplier customer and relationship, as well as the communication. Next comes the last phase of the project management, that is closure or exit phase, in which we have to take care of whether the project is successfully executed or not. Once the project is successfully executed, then we have to review the project completion, that all the stages, all the phases are completed successfully without any error. It's task of project manager to ensure that the project is brought to its proper completion, and for that he have to prepare a formal project review report that contains a formal acceptance of the final product by the client weightage critical measurement, that is at the end of client itself, so that client will prove that I receive the product as per the agreement. Next is, in this phase only, the resources in terms of labor, they have to reward within this phase. A list of lesson that is learned from the mistakes or during the project, they have to take care, and for the next project the learning will work out. And last but not least, a formal project closure notification must be issued by the higher management within this phase, and that is how a project completion takes place. So students, within these 4 stages like initiation, planning, execution and closure, the project cycle completes. Next we'll see there are various causes with which the project success depends on, like stakeholders expectations. Unless and until the stakeholders expectation will not be met at each and every stage, the stakeholders may be government, maybe customer, maybe supplier, vendor, maybe worker itself, then the project will not be covered successfully. Then next one is the senior management support. Unless and until the support will not be there by the senior management, then the project cannot lead successfully. There are many stated purposes and the sound planning. Unless in the absence of sound planning, the project cannot go through successfully. Next, for most important is the objective and goals, and the clarity about goals and objectives. It is required, most required, for the successful completion of the project. Next is a constructive goal-oriented culture must be there. Unless and until the organization is not develops a culture of goal oriented, like their employees must be motivated enough to complete the task within the specified time, then the project cannot be successful. Next is technically competent team. It is another requirement that has to fulfill by the project management team. Unless and until a competent team will not be there, then one cannot think of to complete the project successfully. Next is committed team and the effective team. The team should be effective also, and they have excellent communication between the members. If the communication will not be proper, then obviously project cannot lead successfully, and for that trust is essential parameter that must be there. Unless and until the project group members don't have the feeling of trust and belongingness, they cannot fulfill the task, the project itself. There are various causes which leads to project failure, like absence of all these things, like absence of trust, absence of communication, non-technical team, non-competent team, and if the interest is not there from the end of management or the executives, then also project will lead to failure. And if there is no proper project structure, if the project plan lacks any kind of detail, then also project may get fail. If the project has insufficient budget or resources at any stage, then also project may fails, and so there are a number of factors that may cause a project failure. If the project is not tracked properly, then also project scheduling techniques are not implemented effectively, then also project gets failed. Next comes an important topic, that is organizing the project team. To plan the project is the first half of the project only. But the second and important half is to organize the project team. It is the team and team members only who have to perform the ground level, on the ground level. Unless and until the plan is not there, obviously we cannot do anything. But if the organization or the management is having a proper plan, and there is nobody to implement that plan, then there is no means, like even if the planning is superior or top class planners will get fail if the team is not that of that kind. So to organize the team, there must be a project leader who lead the project and all the activities associated with it. And he is the one who appoint the team under him or her. And he is also responsible to develop the work methods and procedures, the standards, specifications, and work plan. We also have to prepare the structure, break down structure for the entire work, because unless and until we will not break the activities that are carried out in the project, we cannot perform it. Then now we will see all these parameters in detail, organizing the project team. To start with the leader. Project leader must be the person who is having a proper knowledge of principles and methods related to the work. He must have the foresightness with him. Like if he's not foresightness, then he cannot perform. He cannot assess the risk that may possess within the project itself. And also the project leader's approach must be customer oriented, just because each and every project that is carried out for the stakeholders, for the society itself, and unless and until the requirement of society are not clear, then the project cannot be lead successfully. And so project leader should have all those qualities which are helpful to lead the project. Next an important assortment, or you can say component within this organizing the project, is to appoint the team. And yes, of course, project leader along with the HR personnel have to appoint the subject or field experts in the area of project. They have to appoint language professionals who not only works for the communication purpose, but also have a proper professional approach. With that approach only, the project can successfully lead. Next, the work method or procedure. Proper work method or procedure must be clear to all the members of the project. Unless and until work methods as well as procedure will not be clearly stated by the project manager, then the things will not be clear, and the basic methodology that is used by the project within the project should be applicable as technical standards, knowledge of ISO, general language instructions, specialized grocery in the field under study, and all other appropriate resources must be clearly specified to each member of the organization. Next and foremost important is to prepare a proper work plan. Unless and until a proper work plan will not be there, then one cannot schedule the activities of the project, for which a description should be provided to the team itself, and they have to provide a target date for each phase. Within that specified time, each phase must be completed, and for that the responsibilities and authorities are fixed with the project leader, and responsibilities are provided decided by the project manager itself, that is associated with the team members. If the number of concept is judged to exceed the parameters of the project, the work may be subdivided into parallel or successive sub-projects. Means if the project is complex itself, then or a big project is there, then the work associated with the project must be subdivided into parallel and successive activity. Last but not least, the work breakdown structure is there, that is prepared by the project leader itself. If the project is big enough, then it's a task of project manager to divide the project into small activities, in a group of small activities, in which the objective must be clear related to the project activities. Work breakdown structure basically reduces the complexity of the project through a series of tasks that can be performed. Work breakdown structure, as you can see within this figure, overall goals are specified, and overall goals of the project are divided into small objects, and those objects are further divided into number of activities that are carried by the individual. It is used to define the goal, planning, organizing, controlling each and every set of activities that are associated with the project. In the last slide, you can see the activities are specified, and their status as well as completion of that can be measured easily within a time duration, with the specified time duration with defined beginning and end, and it is easy to derive the time and cost estimate unless and until the cost as well as time estimate will not be provided within the each and every activity. Then one cannot take the assurity to complete the project within the specified time. And also an important factor is to complete the project within the specified time in optimal manner. Students, with this lecture come to an end. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about the project network analysis, scheduling techniques, etc. Thank you.